Regional Championships. My name's Cora. Ray, you're back.
I am back.
Good to see you.
Yes.
You have a nice break?
I did. I got to walk around.
Yeah.
Got to see all the decks. Everybody that we streamed earlier is actually doing very well. Sam, Ryan, Jimmy, Igor. They're all X1 or X11 right now. Actually, no. Jimmy is 4-0-3.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened there? Oh, well. That's rough.
Time happened.
But no matter. We've got Jon Eng up against Peter Kica now going into round number 8. And Jon going to be on Greninja. Peter going to be on Golisopod Garbodor. We saw Golisopod last round, but it was a pure Golisopod strategy, no Garbodor. And we saw Greninja once, but it didn't work out nearly as well for Michael Long as it should have.
Yeah, that was really awkward to see the water deck tie it with the fire deck. Generally, water beats fire.
That's what Pokemon has taught me.
I know. This is actually really a cool moment for me because Jon was a senior when I stopped playing.
Yeah.
But he was relatively good. And now we see him here. He's 6-0-1. He's in the Masters division now. And he's competing with the best in the world. So it's really cool to see that happen. And that's something you don't see in other games with the age divisions.
Yeah, he is. He's a little bit of a youngin'.
He is.
But I guess when you play in, any game for so long, you naturally meet people. They grow over time. They become more experienced, and well, then they age up, and they still are really incredibly talented players.
Yeah, you kind of grow up with the game, with Pokemon because of the divisions. It's
very
unique.
Interesting how it works.
I don't think I get that experience in any other game that I've played where you just grow up with everyone else. It's pretty cool.
Well, Jon off to a fast start, gets Brooklet Hill in the opener. Peter with 2 benched Wimpods and a Finny, and the Coco in the active. Got that all off of the Bridget, of course, off of the Tapu Lele, likely.
Yeah, and it looks like Jon just taking his time searching through his deck. The Brooklet Hill is going to get a basic water Pokemon. Peter, he can't really utilize the Brooklet Hill, and he does not have any other stadiums in his deck. So that's just going to be sticking there for the rest of the game. Every single turn, Jon is just going to be able to get a basic Pokemon out of his deck, thin his deck every turn. Even after he no longer needs to get basic Pokemon to bench, he can just use it to thin his deck if he doesn't want specific cards that are water Pokemon.
If you don't want to draw Froakies, if you don't want to draw Staryu.
Yep.
Maybe if your Starmie's prized and your Staryu's just in the deck, then that's a great way to thin it and ensure that your density of draw is going to be much better.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like Peter, I believe that's the golden DCE. Peter likes to pimp out his decks. He has full art everything. He has all gold everything.
The full art Finny, the full art Lele. Can't wait to see the Golispods.
I'm fairly confident that those are most likely reverse holos as well. It's just very difficult to see on the stream. But if this man has all golden DCEs and all full art, those are definitely going to be reverse holos.
High roller, indeed. I love it. I love the artwork in Pokemon. That's part of the reason why I actually came back to the game about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, is because it's just so beautiful. What they've done with the artwork is gorgeous. Gonna attach to the Golisopod, damage it for 10 because it is a rainbow energy.
And now the Golisopod will be able to attack this turn if he wants to. Is this turn 3?
Yeah, I think we came into the
we must
game
have came
a little
in,
bit late because Peter was already set up. We missed the Bridget. But the rainbow energy means that Peter is playing one copy of Drampa GX. He can then activate Berserk with the rainbow energy.
Yep. And it's also an out if you draw dead and say your Tapu Lele's are prized or something. You can big wheel.
You can attack with
your
or you can attack with your Finny even.
Yep. But this Golisopod most likely just gonna hit for 100 and buffer for 20, because there's no reason to overkill with first impression when you have the ability to just armor press and prevent 20 less damage next turn. All right, so it looks like we're just going to see the Frogadier use the duplicate attack, get two other Frogadiers. The last one must be prized. That's actually so huge.
Well, he's just got a full bench.
No,
that was his hand.
no.
Discard. Excuse me.
He definitely has one prized.
It's not nearly as bad as we saw when Michael Long had 2 of his Frogadier prized in his first
awful.
game, and that was actually the game he ended up losing to Volcanion. But Jon is in a very different situation, right? This is a disadvantageous type matchup for him. Golisopod just naturally has the type advantage over Jon. And we'll have to see if Jon can get around that maybe by getting up multiple Greninja breaks, really targeting those giant water shurikens into the Golisopods, and ensuring that Peter doesn't have anything to attack with.
Yep. But I think Peter is going to be in a decent position if he's able to find his Trebuchets and get the Garbodor out and stop the giant water shurikens from coming out here, because then actually taking knockouts, if you cannot use giant water shuriken, is very difficult. Because that ability is, I mean, that's the whole reason why you play the deck, right?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, that's huge. 60 damage for an ability is insane.
You don't want to just play a water Pokemon that does, 40 and shuts off abilities.
Yeah.
There are much better water Pokemon that you can play for that if you'd rather just have a big water deck, play Ninetales, play Lapras. This is used for the flexibility and the stackability of the giant water shurikens. And then obviously the recycle effects on those water energies.
And there's no abilities in Peter's deck really besides Garbotoxin, so shutting his abilities off is pretty irrelevant. In fact, shutting his abilities off on his turn actually helps him, because then he could say Tapu Lele if he wants to with his Garbodor out. Like with Garbotoxin active, if it gets shut off, ironically shutting off Garbodor would help him because it goes back to being turned on.
And then
Jon's
he could
turn.
actually Wonder Tag when that's down.
Yeah.
So you want to shut off your opponents, but if you get yours back, it's not too bad. It's like when you used to play Desiplume, and sometimes you would stack up all the items in your hand. You want your opponent to not be able to play items, but if they ever are able to shut off that Vileplume, then you have one big turn.
You have like one turn of being able to use all your items. Like Ultra Ball, search for everything you want, and then put the Vileplume back down at some point. But here we just see an N from Jon. Both players are going to be drawing, or actually Peter's drawing 4. Jon is drawing 6. Right now, Peter looks like he's in a commanding lead, but he does not have the Garbodor out. So if Jon's able to find like double Greninja break this turn, that's pretty big. I believe that would be, 120 plus 80 with a choice band. He'd be able to actually hit the knockout here. But that's asking for a lot.
He would also need 2 energy from hand to get rid of, alongside the 2 Greninja break and then the choice band.
Okay,
so you're looking for 5 cards. It's a lot to ask.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. No, you also have to retreat as well, which you can retreat for free. So I guess that's not a factor, but it's impossible. It's not happening.
No. So plan B. Greninja gets knocked out. You've got a Froakie on the bench. You can set up another one if you get the Frogadier, but the Frogadier is in his prize.
Yeah.
So that is actually all that Jon has access to now?
Yeah, Jon actually doesn't have access to any more Greninjas if this one is knocked out.
Oh, dear.
Unless he finds it from his prizes by knocking out this Golisopod. Which, I mean, that could happen.
It's a 1 in 3.
No, it's a 1 in 6.
Well, no, because you take 2 prizes from Golisopod.
You're right.
Thank you.
It's a 33% chance. It's a 1 in 6 for each prize.
Yes.
Actually, that's
well,
not even
technically, it's
true.
a 1 in 6, and then it's a 1 in 5. So it's actually it's different.
I'm not a math major.
Normally, I just count to 30.
Yep.
Today we're counting to 6.
Today we have to do big boy math, Cora.
1 out of 6 times 1 out of 5.
We're not adding 1 plus 1 today.
All right, so John's going to play the end, draw himself to 6. Peter goes to 3. Trying to buy some time, trying to get the knockout on the Golisopod to be able to pick up the prizes and maybe find another Frogadier to get that Greninja break going. Because one of the big advantages that Greninja break has is that even though it's at a tight disadvantage, the Greninja break knockouts for Peter are only 1 prize.
Yeah. And at this point in the game, though, I don't think it's necessarily about the prizes. It's more about the ability to set up.
It's always about the prizes, Ray.
In the end.
Doesn't even matter.
Rip. All right, back to the game.
I like that GX counter.
As do I.
It's a nice one. All right, Tapu Koko promoted to the active spot, and that Golisopod is out of here. Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
Discarding, it looks like a Garbotoxin Garb in the back. And John, importantly, was able to pick up the 2 prizes from the Golisopod knockout. We'll have to wait and see if he found another Frogadier to be able to set up another Greninja.
I mean, he also has to have taken it. Oh, man. This is like, he has to find, it's like, it's really
Ray, you
awkward.
sound like you're in pain.
I'm trying to figure out, like, the odds of John being able to set up another Greninja, but it's so difficult.
Field Blower gets the Brooklet Hill out of there.
Also, hitting 170 damage, how easy is that right now for Peter?
Well, there's the Golisopod on the bench with the Rainbow Energy. Bring that in if you can retreat the Coco, and that is quite easy.
Well, how much damage does it do right now? It's weak.
First impression is 120.
Okay.
So 240. Greninja's got 170.
Yeah.
But he's actually, he wants to get that back out and make sure that there's no way that John's going to be able to kill it. So another Greninja break gone.
Mm-hmm. That was actually really smart of Peter to use Crossing Cut GX to effectively protect his Golisopod from being damaged by another potential Greninja break.
Mm-hmm.
Or even maybe, I doubt Tapu Lele is not going to be attacking. He doesn't play DCE in the deck, so.
And even if Golisopod only has to have 1 energy on it to be able to use First Impression, Lele's not getting the knockout there. But switching out to the Tapu Koko in the active position it's just the safest way to go about this. And then he gets to retreat Tapu Koko for free, bring back up the Golisopod, and importantly get the 120 damage from First Impression again.
Yeah, First Impression hits so hard for 1 energy. That's crazy.
It's nuts. It's really solid against Guardy, namely, because you only have to have 1 energy on your Golisopod.
And it's a beefy Pokemon.
It is. The 210.
It is thick.
2C.
Golisopod is thick.
I've seen that word once or twice. Where
Have
have
you?
I seen that word, Ray?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Probably when referring to me.
Sounds familiar. Oh, that's got to be it. It's okay. People use it affectionately, I think.
I think so.
I hope so.
They definitely weren't calling me fat.
Nope, not at all.
No.
You're not fat. You're fluffy. You're lovable.
Oh, my God.
You got a girlfriend. She's cute.
Thank you.
That's all that matters.
It's all that matters. But I just want Twitch chats love.
You can't always get what you want.
That's true. That's true. All right.
I want Rainbow Rare Tapu Leles, but who are we kidding?
Oh, man. Unlucky.
All right,
We're not so lucky today.
No, John's still trying to get another Greninja active. Needs it desperately to be able to actually eventually kill anything.
And it looks like he went
Flips
for a bubble.
The bubble. Yeah, second time this game he actually flips for it. I believe second Tails.
Yeah,
so,
that's real rough.
Could get the paralysis onto the Coco, buy himself a turn. No luck.
I mean, honestly, Peter has a high chance of just getting the Guzma to get out of it. So
Tapu Fini doesn't have any weakness, I believe. Tapus have no weakness and no resistance.
No. I'm saying if he gets bubbled, he can Guzma out of it.
Oh yeah, did Guzma get it out? No, but I'm thinking Guzma. Can Peter end the game this turn? Right?
Oh.
So if he could Guzma his Golisopod up and Guzma the Tapu Fini out, I don't think there would be type advantage there. Finny's not weak to it.
No, the Tapu's, like you said, have no weak.
But yeah, if he were to get bubbled, then
realistically, if you knock out the Froakie this turn, it does not matter.
No.
Like, there is no Greninjas coming up. There are no avenues for Jon to come back into this game.
He has no attackers left.
The best he can do is play a Super Rod or Pokemon Stretcher.
Rescue Stretcher.
Rescue Stretcher, sorry, my bad. And put the Froakies back in his deck, somehow get all of the Froakies.
And then evolve them all with the Frogadiers that he doesn't have.
And not die in the process.
That's a lot of stuff.
That doesn't happen in real life, Cora. There's no chance that happens in real life.
If you've cheated death as many times as you have,
anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
You're right. But I don't believe that Jon will be able to cheat Peter out of not winning, out of taking his last prize card.
Or single prize now.
Yeah, that's not happening. But
the
there's
Espeon
the Super
comes
Rod.
out. There's the Super Rod. Okay, so it is going to be Froakie, double Froakie Frogadier maybe, if he's got a Greninja left. But if he has
Pokemon Stretcher, he could go Froakie, Frogadier, Pokemon Stretcher, all the Frogadiers, and then try to... No, there's one prize left. No.
Double Froakie Frogadier. I believe he's got a Greninja line left, but really needed to get the Froakie Frogadier. He did not have any of those available to him anymore.
The odds of this comeback are about as low as the odds of any restaurant being open after we're done casting.
Low odds. Real low. Vending machine dinner for you tonight, Ray.
Oh, no.
Some Ritz crackers. And
That's
Sprite.
so sad.
That's all you get.
That's so sad, dude. My dinner's going to be potato chips.
Do what you got to do, Ray. It's the caster life.
This is the lifestyle we chose. We're doing this for you.
We didn't choose the lifestyle. It chose us.
Yeah, that's true.
If you couldn't tell, the cast is devolving a little bit over the course of today. Much like Espeon EX can devolve the opponent's Pokemon via Miraculous Shine.
Yeah, but that does not matter at all this game.
No, it doesn't. But it can do it.
It can.
It can also...
It was a really good segue.
Thank you.
If it mattered.
I'm trying here. I'm really trying.
Yeah, I mean, this game has been over for
done.
a solid 3 or 4 minutes now.
Trashlanch Garb on the bench for Peter. He's got the Golisopod, of course, is going to be his main attacker. Trashlanch Garb now set up. Lele's if he needs them, and the Tapu Fini as well. I'm not seeing any way for Jon to be able to take these 2 prizes.
He has 4 prizes left.
Okay, well, 2 knockouts for 4 prizes.
Right. Yeah, that's not happening.
The words are hard.
Words are difficult when you've been casting for 12 hours.
Now you know.
I know. Like, people don't realize that towards the end of a long day, we've been doing this for about 12 hours now. And when you're talking the whole time, your tongue just starts to get twisted sometimes. Your brain starts to get foggy from the fact that you haven't eaten in forever. It just happens, man.
All right, so realistically, unrealistically, what could Jon do to win this game? Ray, analyze.
Analyze this, Ray. Analyze this.
If you could not tell, I'm giving up. I quit.
Realistically,
analyze it, Ray.
It's actually impossible because you cannot physically draw enough
cards. But I said unrealistically, Raymond. Give me minuscule percentage chances.
Unrealistically, a car crashes into the venue and runs over only Peter and then somehow drives away. That's the most realistic way that Peter wins this game right now.
Oh, God. We're right in the line of fire for that. That car's going through us first. All right.
I said only hits Peter. Come on.
No, I mean, even if Jon is able to get the Greninja up, is able to Guzma and take out the Golisopod, they still have the Trashlanch Garb behind it. I'm just not seeing any way where he takes his 4 prizes via 2 knockouts onto the EX or GX Pokemon.
It's not happening. like I said, I think my scenario is more likely to happen than Jon winning this game. But he's going to try nonetheless. This is actually a situation where I wonder, is it smarter to concede the game?
And just go for... Because Greninja takes a relatively long time to
win
get going. Should you just quit and move on to game 2?
I don't think Jon is playing for that at this point. I think Jon is playing for a tie. If he's not conceding, I think you're playing for a tie. You're
hoping that you take game 2.
Yeah, you're making this game go as long as you can, so that way you win the next game, and then there's no chance for a game 3 to finish.
That seems to make a lot of sense.
And Jon is a really smart player, so he wouldn't not concede. Like, he would concede if he felt like he had
of course.
the ability to win 2 more games.
If he felt that was the best line, he would go for it. But Greninja already is at a disadvantage against Golisopod Garb, so dragging it out for as long as you possibly can is probably the right play here. And then maybe you take game 2, get a better start. Your opponent gets a slower start.
Oh, boy. We're going for the bubble. That's a tails. That's going to be
You know what?
game.
I think that Jon needs to start rolling some dice. I don't think the coin is his friend. I don't think the 50-50 flip works. I would like to see an odds or evens style bubble flip there.
Yeah.
I think that could be maybe better for him.
He needs to practice his coin flipping. They
don't have the weight of like a real coin. They're a little bit lighter.
Like little plastic
They're real
ones.
nice. They're very pretty. I like the etching on them, but a little bit lighter.
You just start rolling some dice. The coins aren't working out for him.
Nah. The Night March Joltik GX token, though, working out very well for Peter.
Yeah. I mean, Peter is known for Night March. He piloted the deck ever since it was legal, and he actually just only played Night March.
Oh, wow. Although you piloted a similar single deck for a very long time strategy back in your heyday, didn't you?
I pretty much exclusively played Yveltal. Yeah. Whereas Peter exclusively only plays Night March and expanded now.
Yeah.
And when it was in standard, he only played Joltik, and he actually money matched Eric Gansman for like $100 or something in a best of 21.
Oh my goodness.
Night March mirror match. It was the most...
Who won?
Awful thing to watch. I don't think they actually finished it. I think they got like way too bored halfway. I don't know if they got bored, but they just like...
Best of 21 can take a very, very long time.
They were just like, yeah, this was probably a bad idea, and we're both really hungry. Let's go get food instead.
All right. Wimpod in the active for Peter. Gets the rainbow energy, gets the damage on it. But there's a fast Frogadier. Yeah, he's got no supporters.
Oh, my God. He just passed, and Jon has an explosive start.
Water Duplicate's going to get as many Frogadier are in Jon's deck.
All two? Is there one prize?
So you have another one prize this game?
Having one prize is not the end of the world.
It's not horrible. Having 2 prized is bad.
I mean, your opponent just drew past, so you're pretty content with your spot.
I mean, this bad start for Peter could give Jon the leverage he needs to win, too, and just
if Peter doesn't draw,
win this matchup.
Oh, that's a grass energy. Peter's just dead. If he doesn't have anything here.
Yeah, he's got to end it away and find some other basic or find a Golisopod.
What Peter did there was he didn't play the end last turn. He actually had it. He didn't play the end last turn because Jon also didn't play a supporter. Mm-hmm. So it's easier for Peter to play the game without supporters than it is for Jon to play the game without supporters.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because Golisopod only takes 1 energy and 2 like one more card to start putting out damage, whereas you really need to set up as the Greninja deck.
Still need to evolve the Frogadier into Greninja, and then ideally into Greninja Break over the course of 2 turns. But you can just start attacking with the Greninja. So the Tapu Koko is found. Wimpod retreated, and the Koko put into the active Pokemon position. Flying Flip does not apply weakness and resistance for benched, but you do get weakness and resistance for the active. However, these Frogadier are weak to grass.
Yep. They are ground. I think they're fighting water or ground water.
I believe they're fighting water.
Yeah.
Because he's Greninja. He's
a ninja.
Are they dark water? Yeah. Let me hit up my friendly neighborhood.
Your Professor Google.
Yeah. He knows everything. It's been a while since I...
My favorite professor in the game.
Professor... It's dark. Yeah, it's dark.
Okay.
I figured it out eventually. Yeah, from all of today, I would have thought that your favorite professor was Juniper.
Ouch. That hurts. That hurts. It's okay. I can still do
Water
basic
dark,
math.
but it's a ninja. And it's not fighting.
I don't know why it's dark. Like, why do ninjas have to be dark?
So silly. Oh, you know what? That absolutely makes sense. I ran a Greninja in my first playthrough, and it had Night Slash.
Come on, Cora.
I'm sorry.
Use your noggin here.
It's been a while. I'm replaying Silver right now, actually, so I've got Johto on the brain.
I'm not going to lie. I have not played any of the Pokemon video games after Ruby Sapphire.
Raymond, please lie.
I play the TCG.
You should be
I ain't got
DDC
time for
commentator.
that. No, okay.
All right, Sycamore, draw 7 for Peter. John's got the Greninja in the active, and he's setting up much better this time around.
Yeah.
As long as he has continuous supporters to get continuous draw, he will be in a much better position in this game.
Yeah, Frogadier using the duplicate attack and not
duplicates.
having your Frogadiers prized is huge. And Peter, I mean, if he doesn't get another of the basic down for Golisopod, he is in an awkward position if this one's going to be able to be dealt with in any capacity. I'm not sure, though. That seems pretty difficult.
It does, especially when you are simply a lowly Greninja, a water dark type, who I wouldn't be surprised if, is fighting eventually. I don't know, triple typing. Yeah, without Greninja Break, you are not going to be able to get an easy knockout on the Golisopod, but the Golisopod can get an easy knockout on you.
For sure. Ooh, we could see a Tapu Storm here.
Oh, that would be a first for the stream today. That would be exciting.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. There is a very strong chance that Tapu Storm is the best option
You
that John's gonna
shuffle
have.
the opponent's active Pokemon into their deck. Get rid of that Float Stone, get rid of that DCE, the Wimpod, and the Golisopod, and the Grass, all gone. And force Peter to have to find it again. That would be huge, actually. Because look at what's on Peter's bench after it. He's got the Coco, he's got the Trubbish, but he doesn't have the Garb yet, and he's got a Wimpod with no Golisopod. Pretty weak if this Garb is not in play, and now it is not. Tapu Storm coming out from the Tapu Fini. First time we've seen it, but it's going to make a big impact here.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited that we get to see this Tapu Storm here, and it's incredibly effective for tempo swings. Like, I mean, Peter doesn't have anything if he can't find a Golisopod here.
Okay, well, Rescue Stretcher.
It doesn't. Golisopod's not in the discard. It's in his deck.
No, but what does he want from it? Does he want to pull directly to bench, or does he want to pull...
Okay, he's going to get the Tapu Lele and use its ability. He must not have a supporter. So he's going to use a Tapu Lele. He's going to use Wonder Tag, get the Juniper, discard his hand, and try to find a Golisopod.
Ray, is that a woman? I know the hair is deceptive, and I know you don't want to assume.
I know. Okay, that's not a Juniper?
No. It's not.
Okay. I didn't want to assume.
I know that. No,
it's 2017,
Ray,
Cora.
that's totally right of you. I really respect that. I'm proud of you, Ray.
Thank you.
Real proud of you.
I'm accepting of all.
Crying the watery tears of a Greninja deck that prizes 3 of its Frogadiers.
Feels bad, man.
Coco into the active.
You know what else feels bad, man? The fact that Peter did not hit a Golisopod.
No, that feels worse, man. And the fact that John picks up the Evo Soda and can now search the Greninja Break out of his deck. Yep, there we go. Now he is in business. Giant Water Shuriken can hit for 60 per turn. 120 if you have multiple Greninja Break set up. And that's why you're playing this deck, because the potential damage that you can just place on your opponent with those damage counters is massive. But we haven't actually seen a Greninja on stream get set up with multiple Greninja Break and be able to deal that damage output.
No, we haven't actually seen that once. And I don't think we're going to see that this game, where they kind of just have that insane combination, because there's no Starmie in play. So it's not going to be consistent. Like, you can't just always
energy,
have
get 2 energy back.
Yeah, like that's really difficult if you don't have Starmie set up.
When you're constantly recycling and getting rid of useless cards that you don't need, man, it's strong.
I don't think I've actually seen a Greninja deck have the ideal setup ever.
No, I mean, Greninja has some of the greatest nuts potential in this game, and it's so well positioned. There's so much water right now, or there's so much fire right now, excuse me. There's Straight Volcanion, there's Ho-Salazzle with Kiawe. So much fire at this tournament. Greninja is very well positioned, which is why we're seeing both Jon Eng and Michael Long have phenomenal records with this deck. But when they come up on stream, they're struggling a little bit. The draws aren't as good as we would assume they would be.
Ooh,
but
very smart by Peter here. He's just going to concede. He recognizes that he lost the game. If he does not have access to a Golisopod, there's no reason for him to play it out if he wants this Game 3 to end. This is saying, I believe I am favored in this matchup. I think I'm going to win Game 3. I'm going to concede now so we have enough time to play it. And we see the Professor Sycamore come up on the screen. I can see clearly
now. There
now.
we go, Ray. The Sycamore is here and the Juniper is gone.
The rain is gone.
The water's still here.
The water.
All obstacles in your way, whether it be Professor Bias or past knowledge, you can see them now and you can move past them.
This is true. I know. I'm able to see it now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, don't thank me. Thank production. That was all them.
Thank you.
Thank you, production. And thank you.
They're on point.
Just because we can.
Why not?
Game number 3. 19 minutes on the clock. A Froakie for John and a Wimpod for Peter. Lele to start. Pick up the supporter of choice. Get this train rolling.
This is going to be a Bridget for sure.
Whew.
3 basic Pokemon. Most likely 2 Wimpods, Tapu Koko. Oh my god, there's so many Tapus, Cora. There's so many.
Walk through it with me. Tapu Fini.
Yep.
Tapu Lele.
Yep.
Tapu Bulu.
Why would you say that one before Coco, the one that's
Koko.
right on the screen?
Because I like Tapu Bulu best.
That's unfortunate because it's doing
Okay,
terribly
let's
in this
go
tournament.
in alphabetical order. Tapu Bulu. Tapu Fini.
No. Let's focus on the game.
Tapu Koko
at hand.
and Tapu Lele. Want to go over the Ultra Beasts? No.
No,
we're not going
I don't know
over
any of them. I haven't played Sun and Moon. I only play the card game, Cora.
How about the new one, like the brick wall?
I only know the things that Sam Chen tells me when he tells me useless facts.
Sam Chen tells you a lot. Did you know that Cosmoem is tied for the heaviest Pokemon in the game?
I did. I learned that last night.
Because Sam Chen told you.
He knows every weight of every single Pokemon.
Sam Chen is a Pokemon supercomputer.
He actually is. He knows the weight of every single Pokemon, and he knows the Pokedex entries.
But Ray, Sam Chen's not here right now.
Yes, he is. He's right over there.
Okay, well, he's not here. We're not looking at him on the screen. Rein it in, Raymond. We have a job to do.
I am.
All right, Froakie in the active, Froakie on the bench, and John goes with the N. Shuffle the hands.
Peter whiffed an
Level playing
energy
field.
attachment, I believe.
Yes, that's unfortunate. He picks up the splash on the draw, but it looks like that's all he's going to have access to. But more importantly, does pick up the Frogadier. Will have access to water duplicates if he wants it next turn, and he will want it.
Yep. He just puts down the stadium, activates the ability, most likely just going to get a Staryu here. He could get a third Froakie, but that seems a bit redundant if you're going to do water duplicates next turn.
Yeah.
You definitely want to set up the Staryu this
You're not going to
game.
make use of
Or Starmie.
your Froakie when you have the Frogadier down already. You'd rather just skip that stage. That's why you don't need like Rare Candy in this deck, for instance, because usually you just skip the stage 1, go right to the Frogadier.
Exactly. This is where the stadium, Brooklet's Hill, really shines. Just early turns. Helping you get out those basics and potentially helping you win a stadium more.
That's why he's playing 3 copies of him.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually win the game if you get Parallel City. That seems so difficult. So you have to at least play some type of stadium.
Tough. Yeah, if you have I mean, having to cut your bench down to 3 is bad, but if you can then play out the Brooklet Hill, get rid of the Parallel City, because most Guardy decks are only running 1 copy, then you can refill from there. So at least you have some potential after that. It just hurts when it happens.
Yeah, and for once in a Greninja player's life, all 3 Frogadiers. The whole squad is here. Look at that. Look at the
frogs,
pose.
they rolling up. They not fighting types, but that's okay.
I feel like this is the exact pose a Frogadier would make once he has his whole squad here.
He's
He'd be like,
winking
yo,
at
what's
you.
up? Squad. They're coming in hot, Cora.
The Frogadiers?
Yes.
Yep. Yep, they are.
They are.
Spicy.
Like,
Spicy deck choice.
it's actually really cool. Imagine if he played Rare Candy.
But look at Froakie. He's so relaxed. What happened to Froakie when he turned into Frogadier that made him so serious? So squad-oriented.
His life on the streets, man. Froakie saw some stuff and some things out in that forest. Froakie, he was dipping his feet in the lake. You know what? He thought he'd go maybe pick some berries or something. He walked around in the forest, and
maybe a citrus.
And then some jerk beat him up.
Okay,
in the
Ray. We don't endorse Pokemon abuse. We don't.
The game is literally about fighting each other.
Okay, but we ignore that.
How do you ignore the most crucial and essential part of the game?
We ignore that a 10-year-old is training creatures. It's not happening. We don't talk about that.
That is the core. All right. Yeah, these Pokemon flying flip. You're not hitting the Pokemon. You are just doing a flip in front of it,
impressing
and it's somehow
them with your
taking
gymnastic
damage.
skills.
And it's somehow taking damage.
Can the bubble? Okay, seriously, this bubble is just not
That's
happening.
0 for 4.
This is not happening.
That's 0 for 4.
I really think the coin strategy is not valid for John. He wants to go with dice. But look at just both sides of this board for a second, Ray. Let's rein it in for a second. Peter, 2 Golisopods on bench already. One more than he had last game. And John with all 4 Frogadier. This seems like these 2 decks are now doing what they want to do. Their game plans are being executed much more smoothly. They have peaked, right? The last 2 games were a little bit shaky for one or the other, but now this is going to be a great showing from both of these decks. But when both of these decks have a great start and draw very well, the advantage has to go over to the deck that has the type advantage, right?
I mean, I would say that Garbodor is the biggest factor right now.
If you shut off Giant Water Shuriken, there's nothing that Greninja can do.
No. So if John is able to find his field blowers when he really needs them, then he has a chance. But if he cannot find field blowers to shut up this Garbodor, there's no way that these Greninjas are going to be able to deal with the Golisopods efficiently.
John is he's only playing 2 copies of Field Blower.
I mean, that's pretty standard, but you really only need 2 because you only need to do it on the turn that you're going to take the knockout. So you Field Blower the tool off the Garbodor, you go double Giant Water Shuriken, or even triple Giant Water. Oh, wow.
He got it. That's going to be paralysis on the Tapu Koko.
Yes, but that looks like a Guzma. That's exactly what Peter needed. He brings up the Golisopod, and he's going to start doing damage and knocking out the opposing Greninjas.
John's Greninja break is knocked out, but because of the splash energy, it does go back to his hand, so he will have access to one quickly. And Peter only takes 1 prize card because breaks are not on the same level as EXs or GXs, so you only get the 1 prize. But having to put the Staryu in play just to buy some time, you need time to actually be able to attach the Greninja and then the Greninja break again. Debating on whether or not he wants to play down that last Froakie. Decides to Ultra Ball instead. Brooklet Hill's never going anywhere, so
this is such an
might as well
uphill
toss
battle.
that. Very much so.
For John, he needs a Choice Band, double Giant Water Shuriken, and to bounce the energy back to his hand to even get a knockout on a Golisopod.
Okay, well, the way he did it in the last game was with Tapu Storm from Tapu Fini.
That doesn't actually progress your board state, though. You can't
No.
win the game.
No.
He can try to tie. I think that's what he's going to be going for here.
It worked last game because all that Peter had available to attack with was that one Golisopod, and once it was gone, he had no power left on board. But in this game, you could bounce Golisopod, and then you still can't use Giant Water Shuriken. There's another Golisopod on the bench.
The whole Golisa squad is here. Yes.
Right, you can just turn in your letter of resignation now. I think actually we probably both should. It's probably just safe.
But would you? They're a squad. Like that. There's multiple. They roll in packs.
Where does it say that these are pack Pokemon?
I made it up.
Exactly.
Made it up.
You're not making a very good first impression.
Nope, but Golisopod will be once it attacks. Oh, God. This is amazing.
Even the secret rare grass energy from Peter. You have to give some props over to the man who's willing to bling out his deck this much.
Peter drops fat
sight.
stacks on his deck.
Or he's just really good at pulling.
No.
Okay. Real lucky.
No. Peter goes in.
All right, Greninja break in the active for Jon. Can he make a miracle happen? It's the only Greninja he's got access to. Although Peter has only taken 2 prize cards, he's knocked out 2 of those pivotal Greninjas.
Brookwood Hill is going to get the Tapu Fini here. So Jon might be going in for maybe a Tapu Storm this turn to maybe hope that Peter just doesn't have energies or something. Because at this point, you're so far behind. I feel like you just have to, at some point, you have to get lucky.
Yeah.
And
You're
your
playing
opponent has
from
to
behind,
live.
and you need to, of course, take the risks that you need to take to try and get that edge back. But you also need to hope that your opponent just gets a little bit unlucky. Okay, now the squad has showed up. Now we've got 3 Golisopod.
See, if I say it enough, you'll eventually say it.
I will not.
You literally just did.
I did not.
No?
I said I did not put the 2 words together.
Interesting. That seems like
I
a
used
mistake.
them separately, but in conjunction with each other.
That's not what I heard, but okay. Whatever you
Selective
say,
hearing
Cora.
is a real problem, right?
I mean, I definitely have that.
8 minutes left on the clock. Jon, at this point, because he is so far behind, likely looking for the tie here. If he can draw this one out, then he'll be at a 6:02 instead of a 6:11. Although likely a 7:11 or a 7:02 will be the cut into tomorrow, where we'll have another another 5 rounds.
So 7 and 2 will make cut, which is 21 points. So that's what your goal is to get 21 points. Mm-hmm. Win is worth 3 points. A tie is worth 1 point. A loss is worth 0 points.
Okay.
So you just have to get to 21 points. So a 6-0-3 is 21 points because it's 7 wins. That's going to make it 6. Anything with like 6 wins and any amount of losses won't make it. 7 wins obviously will make it because they'll be 7-1-1s. So.
Yeah.
But you need to get to 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we're just going to see a flying flip here, deal 20 damage to everything. That, I mean, Peter does not have a way to knock out the Tapu Fini right now because it's not weak to grass like the rest of Jon's deck.
Or electric.
Or anything. But he's setting up for the knockout with Golisopod next turn. He can even utilize the GX attack if he wants to knock out Tapu Fini and then go and hide his Golisopod on the bench.
Yeah.
Now, Jon, he's getting the Greninja break, but it's useless right now. Garbotoxin is online. Jon needs to find a field blower here in order for this to be useful.
Yeah, field blower, even if he Guzmas it up. He's not going to have a way to knock it out in one, so it really does need to be the tool removal on the float stone.
I think realistically, Jon is just trying to stall out as long as possible to maybe get a tie in this game. But
I mean, he's got 5:50 on the clock. It's realistic that he can stall out this game, but can he do it without letting Peter take another prize or 2 prizes? Because if it's, do we have the specific ruling on that?
I believe if Peter has taken 4 or more prizes, that it will count as a win for him. But I'm not 100% sure anymore.
We'll have to get a confirmation on what exactly constitutes a tie in this situation.
The rule was always if you have taken 4 or more prizes, and the game counts as an actual game. But they might have changed that in the last couple of years.
A lot of things change in 3 years.
A lot of things change in 3 years, except for the top players in this game who have all been people that I know in the past. Literally coming to this Pokemon tournament was like I never even left. It's crazy to me.
They welcomed you back.
Well, I don't know if I would call it that.
Okay, we're getting word that it is only for cut. The 4 prizes.
Only in top cut.
Yes. So this would be.
So for Swiss, you just have to take all your prizes, otherwise it's a tie.
Yes, so there needs to be a definitive end to this game.
Okay. That is really unfortunate for Peter because I think there is no way that he can lose this game if Jon doesn't find a field blower this turn. Peter can even knock out the Tapu Fini if he wants to, if he is able to find the energies to do so.
But Peter needs to knock out Tapu Fini and then 2 additional Pokemon to be able to win this game within 4 minutes.
Right. I'm saying if the game had unlimited time,
yes, he would absolutely take this. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But Jon's done an excellent job of stalling this out.
Maybe not now. There's 2 giant water shurikens coming in here. That's 120 damage, inability damage, on whatever Jon wants.
Very quickly ramped up with that field blower, able to take the tool off of the Garb. And Peter's going to be looking to get another tool onto the Garb next turn to have Garbo Toxin active and cancel out the giant water shuriken, but we'll have to see if he's got it.
Now hear me out. If Jon... if Jon is able to find multiple field blowers, so back-to-back field blowers, can he actually take 3 GX knockouts? I mean, he can just double Water Shuriken knock out Golisopod here for 120.
But then he would need to be able to take the other Golisopod and the Lele over what? He's maybe got 2 turns?
I mean, theoretically, it is possible, but highly unlikely, especially if Peter finds another tool, perhaps ends Jon into a dead hand. I mean, the odds of it happening are just it's not easy.
Well, either way, Jon's got a lot more going for him than he did before that field blower. At least he has a chance now, but when you're playing against the clock, unfortunately, things can get a little bit jumbled.
Yeah, and I actually don't think it's possible anymore to do it. That's another tool on the Garbodor. All abilities are shut off again. So if Jon doesn't find a second field blower, there is no way that he can actually take the prizes.
Yeah. And he's only playing 2 in the deck.
Yeah, so he only has access to 1 more. If he field blowers and then Peter attaches another tool to Garb, he can't take it.
It's there forever.
He can't take the prizes. Like, Peter can just promote Tapu Koko and force Jon to take a 1 prize, and then, I mean, there's a minute 35 seconds left. There's just no way.
Well, looks like we're going to be running out the clock. We'll go to the 3 additional turns after the clock has run down, starting at turn 0 with whoever the clock ends up on.
A tie is actually terrible here. Actually, no, a tie is actually fine, because they can just tie again. But if their next round opponent does not want to tie into day 2, which is very possible,
yeah,
then the tie here is awful because that means it's a win and in for them next round. Whereas
if one of them got the win here and then the
Yeah.
other got the win in the next round, they could both still potentially move on to day 2.
Yep. And one of them would just be guaranteed for day 1 right now.
I mean, this is a win and in for these guys. 7 wins gets you into day 2, where you then will play another 5 rounds of Swiss before the cut to top 8.
Yeah. It's so interesting to be here in real life and just see the atmosphere and stuff and then know that, like, part of the game and part of actually making it to day 2 is being able to communicate with your opponent and lay out the facts. Be like, all right, we're both 6-0-2. If we tie, we both make it into day 2. And if we play it out, one of us is not making it into day 2. On the other hand, if they both tie and they end up 6-0-3 going into day 2, they have a lower percentage chance to make top 8 because tomorrow's a continuation of this tournament.
There's
and then they're going to. It's so interesting.
Such strange dynamic in this game when it comes to those ties, but that is going to be time.
Yeah, and John can't win the game. Peter can't win the game.
Not within the amount
Actually,
of time.
wait. Peter has 1, 2, 3. It ends on his turn, so he could take out a knockout on Greninja, and then he could Guzma up the Tapu Fini, or he could kill the Tapu Fini.
Okay, so that's the only way he does it, though. Get the Greninja out, and then you need to Guzma the Tapu Fini because it's the only GX Pokemon in the deck for Peter to kill and get the last 2 prizes.
So that is a viable strategy for Peter to win the game. That's his only way to win the game. But it involves him getting Guzma either this turn or next turn and being able to attack with Crossing Cut, which he still has available to him.
But he's going to Acerola, bring up the Coco, attached to the Golisopod, and that Coco has free retreat.
Does he have the Guzma in hand is the question. It's really hard to tell a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because Peter just has full art everything. And
choice band on the Golisopod, so the knockout on Tapu Fini is possible with Crossing Cut. Although the Fini already has 20 damage on it, so you don't need the choice band for Crossing Cut to actually take the win there.
Part of playing all the tools here is just so that way when you get end, you have a higher percentage chance of hitting what you need.
Yeah. You might as well play it. No reason not to.
Well, if you don't play it, it can get shuffled back into your deck, and that's another card in your deck
that you don't want to draw.
Exactly. Peter's just taking his time. Once you're in time, there is no time limit, so you can just make the most out of every move. You can be very meticulous once you hit time. I mean, you only have 2 turns. You might as well play them optimally. That's actually the worst feeling, is misplaying in time and then realizing that you could have won afterwards. That just feels that feels real bad.
So Coco retreats, Golisopod comes to the active, Greninja is knocked out, and Peter takes his 4th prize. 2 more if he can bring up this Fini and get the knockout, then he will have actually managed to win the game in overtime.
Yeah, and it looks like John brings the end to the... Oh, no, that's a Skyla. So if Peter has the Guzma, he wins. If he can find the energy to attack with Crossing Cut. But will he be able to Guzma and have a double colorless energy? Ooh, I'm not sure. On top of that, does this Greninja just knock out Golisopod? It's 110 damage. That's actually a perfect knockout on Golisopod with Greninja.
With just the 80 damage secondary attack.
The question is, does he have the energy to do so?
He needs 1 water energy to be able to use that secondary attack, and then the water energy bounces back to the hand to deal the additional 20.
Yep, and there's already 100 damage on the Golisopod, so it's perfect math. Can he get there? John is really contemplating. Okay, so he has a Field Blower in the hand.
There's the water energy.
There's the water. He's Field Blowering, getting rid of the choice band on the Golisopod Basic. Wimpod.
Because it's wimpy. And then it turns into Big Bad
hefty,
Bug.
Hefty.
Okay.
No, is that not it? No, all right. Cora is getting more and more
He's a
tired
Goliath
of me as the day
Isopod.
goes on.
That's why he is what he is. It's a cool Pokemon in the game.
That is not Guzma, which means Peter cannot win this game unless he has another turn. Sometimes the turns are a little bit awkward because if you pass your turn, as they say time, sometimes you get an extra turn. So it's always turn 0, 1, 2, 3.
So depending on when time was actually called.
Okay,
nope.
no.
That is going to be a tie. So both of these guys, very, very well played. Jon did absolutely everything he had to do to not lose that match. And it is 100% correct. It is correct to make the most. You have 15 seconds per every action that you are legally allowed to make. There's a judge with them at all times. No rules were being broken. He just played every way that he needed to ensure that he would not lose that match. And it's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah. Honestly, it was actually really close. It came down to time.
Yes.
In Game 3, one prize left for Peter at the end of it. So that is literally as close as it can get.
It was very close. A bit unfortunate for Peter because it did look like if there had been more time,
100%,
he would have just been able to win that match, and then that would have been his win and in. But now both of these guys are right on the bubble. They're going to have to get the win or the draw in the next round to have the 21 points to be able to make it to day number 2. But that's going to do it for round number 8. We've got one more round of today before we make that cut and find out who's going to make it to day 2. Round number 9 coming up after this.